Hi guys, welcome back to Allotment Diggers. Today I'm going to be planting a gooseberry that a friend of mine offered me a couple of weeks ago. He said, you're going to have to dig it up, Mark. So I can't show you me actually digging it up. I can show you where it was and what it looks like, so I'm going to show you that.
What you're looking at there is a gooseberry my mate George has given me. It's on his plot. I've just got to come and dig it out. I'll dig a good root ball out, and I'll take it over to my plot, and we'll trim the middle out and turn it into a bit of a goblet before we actually plant it. Make it easier that way. Give it a bit of a pruning, and hopefully next year we'll get some good fruit off it. We might even get some fruit off it this year. But this is the time, if you're going to start moving your bushes about, get it done now. After the end of February, I don't think you're going to be able to do anything. But there you go, that's mine, and we'll be getting that shortly.
So you've seen the gooseberry. I had to go and dig it up, but there was too many people there, so I couldn't really use the camera to do any recording. Well, not on my mate's plot anyway. But what we did, we dug it up, and we got it down here on the plot. And I'm going to show you a few clips now of me actually planting it. I'm going to say what we're going to be putting in the hole with it, and obviously where we're going to be putting it, we've got to remove some daffodils which was in there, so they had to be sacrificed, or was they sacrificed? We'll have to wait and see. So let me show you the clip now and we'll be right back.
So welcome back to Allotment Diggers. Well, today we're going to be planting this gooseberry which I acquired off my mate George. He told me to go and dig it out, and that's what we did a bit earlier on. Unfortunately I couldn't really record over there because there's too many people, so what we did, we used that fork to dig round the base. We dug about a foot away from the main trunk of the bush, freed it up, and we got as much root ball as we possibly could. We got a real nice root ball as well there. We managed to get the tap roots intact as well, so that's a good sign. Always try to get your root, your main tap root. If you can save that, the bush will do really well. So anyway, we've not got much time. We've only got a couple more weeks before we can we won't be able to transplant these. So it's in the bucket at the moment, and where we're going to be transplanting it is, yes, you guessed it, where we said. The only trouble is I've got a load of tulips and daffodils there, and what I'm going to have to do is try and dig a few of them out. The only problem I've got, we're going to have to sacrifice maybe one or two of them. Well, I'm going to be able to have to sacrifice a few of them. I just pinched that board off my brother's plot so I can step on it. If I put my feet into that bed, it's just going to sink in because it's fine tilth. But yeah, we're going to be using that bucket to put the soil into there, what we dig out the hole. I'm going to be putting in that bag there, what you see in that bucket is mycorrhizal fungi, and there's also some bloodfish and bone and some bone meal. That bag there I was going to put some potash in as well, but I think we won't bother with that. I still haven't took the bloody nails out of that yet. The shovel, what you see there, is what I'm going to be digging the hole out. You don't want to use a shovel when you're digging your bushes up, guys. Use a fork. If you use a shovel, what you do, you end up cutting through all the roots. What you want to do is get as many of them roots out as you possibly can. In this case, we've got a cracking root ball there. So we're going to get this this dug in now, and like I said, I'm going to just winkle out a few of these tulips if I can save them. It's a shame, but if I can save a few of them, I will do. So let's crack on.
Right, before we start doing anything silly, let's draw a circle around the bucket. Anything in it has got to come out, so unfortunately, oh, that's alright, we'll be able to plant that on. How about go for that one there? There we go, we can plant that one out as well. Let's get that one. And that one. That one's going to have to come out.
we see any more here. Right, we've managed to, we'll just have to be careful when we're going round here. Do that out of the way. Got my bucket where I can throw my compost. Well, I can throw all this stuff here. Yeah, that one's going to have to come out as well. We'll plant these on in a bit. Right, I think we've got a good enough hole. Let's just move this bucket out of the way. Just flattening me bloody tulip. Ah, they're okay. Right, so we got this crater. Be nice if a meteorite was to it there. Just imagine how much that money would be worth off selling it. Anyway. I don't know, I might have to take a bit more out of that hole yet. Yeah, go a little bit wider, I think. Right. I'll put some of this mycorrhizal fungi. We just put some bone, bloodfish and bone in there. But we're also going to put that mycorrhizal, and I'm going to try and get some round the roots when we put it in. So here's the fun bit. Got to get the bush without getting pricked to death into the hole. That's a nice root ball there. What I'm going to do, just rub some of that mycorrhizal around the roots. Now then, that is the right height. We don't want to go any lower than that. So now what we're going to do is basically backfill around the hole. And the job should be a good one. I do believe there's a strawberry there. Right, here's the fun bit, stamping it in. Oops, bloody kicked the camera then, didn't I? Let's see if we're still there. Yeah. Right. We had a little bit more soil around that, so that Inomiki red is in now. Going to do a little bit of pruning. There's a few branches that I'm going to just nip off, and hopefully this will come good and give us some beautiful gooseberries this year. So yeah, that one's put to bed, so to speak. So there you go. The gooseberries in there now. It looks absolutely wonderful where it is. Luckily our kid had a plank what I could use to walk along, and we managed to dig it out. Not too much trouble. We only had to remove 5 daffodils out of the hole in the end. So I'm being distracted by the birds singing here. There's quite a lot of them actually. Anyway, they've got a new bush to hang about in as well now. So that should be handy for these birds what like to scurry about the undergrowth, like the blackbirds and what have you, and the little goldcrests. And anyway, as I was saying, we had to take 5 out in the end, but as you saw in the video, we put some bone meal in there, a bit of bloodfish and bone, plenty of mycorrhizal fungi. We rubbed it in the roots as well and in the hole, so that should stimulate a load of root growth. We was quite lucky with the root ball. We got a nice root ball there, and we actually got the taproot and everything, so it should do okay. And if we would have left it another 2-3 weeks, we would not been able to move it. However, we've got it all dug in. It's in the plot now. We've stamped it down, like firmed it in, and it's looking really good actually. The daffodils which we took out, we've actually put into a pot, and I'm going to show you now where we put them. This is where we these are daffodils, by the way. So we put the 5 daffodils in here. This is what we dug out of that hole where we just put the gooseberry, and got a lot of pots on here. In fact, in that blue bin there, it's full to the top from the bottom, and they're in water as well. Same with this one here with the lid on. Let's just lift that up. There you go. That is absolutely solid with pots. Oops. We've got water in it. The reason why the water's there is for when we lift the pots out, they're nice and clean. This is the tip of the iceberg with pots, guys. I've got hundreds of thousands of them. There's a pile underneath that table there, and my bottom shed's full of them. Anyway, another little tip. We just cleaned the shovels and the spade. Always clean your tools after you use them, guys. We'll go back in the shed in a moment. As you can see, the gooseberries bedded in now. We may have to take that one out yet. We don't know. We'll see what happens in the year. But I've got the blueberries going to be going in there shortly as well. So I'll show you me doing that very soon. However, we're going to be using them 2 buckets well, not right now. But we're going to be using them 2 buckets sometime today to plant two trees that I've got. Yep, we've got 2 trees. I've got a cherry, and I've actually got a pear as well. They're on rootstock, on a dwarf rootstock, so they're not going to grow more than 3 meters tall, and you know that's fully grown. However, what we're going to be doing is just putting them in there temporary, because I've got one of these that I think it's that one what's I'm having a problem. It's not doing very well, so we're going to see what comes alive this year and what stays, what doesn't get leaves on it, and we'll have a couple of replacements for my trees. Anyway, that job has been put to bed now, and in the nick of time too. Another 2 weeks and it would have had to stay in where it was in the ground. But yeah, we've managed to get that gooseberry planted, so there's a result. And we didn't lose a plant in the process, so that's another result. Now I'm going to have a nice cup of coffee.
So as you saw there, they're in the pot, and speaking of pots, did you notice all them pots there in the barrels? In the blue, well, you can't really see the ones in the blue container, but the one in the green goes all the way to the bottom of them plant pots, and what they're doing now, they're soaking, and when we come to needing a pot, we just take them out of there and they're all clean, so that's the reason why they're there. The other important thing was to clean all the tools, as you just seen on the table. We just let them dry out. We're back in the shed now. We won't be needing them for the next part of the video, what I'm going to be showing you. However, I don't know which one I'm going to show you yet, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste it onto this clip, so I'll keep you posted and we'll be right back. Hi guys, well, I told you I was going to put another video onto the end of that gooseberry. Obviously it's the next day and here we are. Probably noticed something disappeared there. I'm going to have my hair cut today. I look like, well, let's not say what I look like. Packing in. Anyway, like I say, we've got a couple of clips to show you. We've been doing a couple of fruit trees today, put them into 30 litre buckets. The reason why we put them in 30 litre buckets, no space out there at the moment, and if we was to put them out there, they would die straight away, because what's happened, we've had them in the greenhouse for a week or so, and the pear, which we're going to show you in a bit, has burst into life and started to throw a load of leaves out, and the cherry has started to, the buds have started to come all over the branches. I'm going to be showing you them in a moment, yeah, so what we decided to do was to put them in buckets. So I'm going to show you me now doing the mix, show you the plants, the mix, what we're going to be using, show you me doing it, show you me planting the 2 trees, and a few tips there, what you can probably take and use yourself maybe. It's all down to you. But let me now show you what we've been doing earlier this morning. It's glorious today, as it was yesterday, although we've got some severe frosts on the way. I'll tell you more about that in a bit. So let me show you doing these 2 trees. Well, today we're going to be putting 2 trees, these are on dwarfs stock by the way, into these 30 litre buckets. The reason why we're putting them in there is because I'm waiting to see. I think 2 of these trees might not have made it through the winter. However, we can still keep them in these buckets for the time being. I've actually got 120 litre buckets as well, so what we might do is keep these 2 trees in buckets. Now this cherry, it's Chateau Morel cherry, and it grows to about 3 metres. Now this conference pear, again it grows to about 3 metres. It's like I say, they're on dwarf stocks. However, you can see these have already started to put some leaves out. So what I don't want to do is leave these outside. They're going in the greenhouse. Once I've potted them into these pots, they're going into the greenhouse. Anyway, we're going to be using this Verve multi-purpose compost, 125 litres there. So I'm going to be tipping at least 60 litres into this wheelbarrow. I've come along here. Let's go over here, show you what else we're going to be sticking in with that compost. So we've got this horticultural vermiculite, and we've also got perlite as well. We're going to be putting some mycorrhizal around the roots of the tree and some feed there. Got some cable ties, a couple of pieces of wood to keep the tree upright, and I think we're good to go. So what we're going to do first is mix some compost up
with this vermiculite and perlite. So let's get back over there and get cracking. Here's the fun bit, getting this into the wheelbarrow. Here we go. Right. Now then. This is where it all gets blown all over everywhere. We've got a bit of a wind. This will retain the water. What I'm putting in now, this is the vermiculite. Again, I'm going to be using some of this. I don't think we'll get to use all this in one go, but what we will be doing is some dahlias shortly, so whatever's left out of this bucket, which I can't see there being much, we'll be using for them. Should be wearing a mask when I'm doing this, but I think we'll get away with it. We're outside, it's ventilated. This is some feed that I'm putting in with the soil as well. Might as well put the feed in now rather than faff about with the buckets. Right. Now then, what I need to do is to fill one of these buckets up, so the next thing is to get me a bucket. Just make sure I've got this camera working there. Yeah, I want to catch everything. So now we're going to put the cherry tree in this bucket. Well, what we'll do is, I need scissors because we've got someone's put a bloody cable tie around the bag. So this is the cherry. So there's the root. What I want to do, put some of this mycorrhizal around the root as well. What I'm going to do, I'm going to rub it in. What I want to do is not go below where the tree's been grafted here. If I go any lower, what's going to happen is it's going to rot off a bit more mycorrhizal round there. And at this point we're going to stick a cane at the side of it so we can tie it up. Perfect. The reason why I'm banging the side of the pot is to make sure that all the compost goes around the roots. So it's got plenty of food in here. Now then, the trick is to put a tie round it to hold it together. Now we're not going to put it around the tree tight, we're just going to put it round so it supports the tree. And there we go. Now you might think where I've done it there, it's more to one side. However, the root was on an angle, so the root comes this way and the tree goes straight up. So that's my cherry. I'm going to be giving it a good soaking in water in a moment, but yeah, we put perlite vermiculite. We've got a mix of bone meal, actually bloodfish and bone meal, and we've actually put the mycorrhizal around the root. So once it's watered, I can't see we're having any problems whatsoever with this tree. And when it gets bigger, all we do is simply put it in a bigger pot, and maybe this one might go out into the middle of the plot later on in the year. We're just doing this now temporary, you know, so it's like it's got somewhere to sit, and it's got loads of little buds on this tree as well, so I'm going to show you that in a minute. But first things first, I'm just going to get a watering can and give it a quick water. So there you go, it's had a good soaking. the vermiculite and the perlite will retain the water. This tree is good to go. So what we're going to do, we're going to do the pear pretty much the same way. So let's crack
guys,
on.
what we're doing here now, we're just finishing this these fruit trees off. Now we've added perlite, vermiculite to this mix, and bloodfish and bone meal, and well, we've got mycorrhizal fungi to stick in here yet. I need that as me as a stabiliser. I'll have to take the gloves off for the moment and cut this bloody plastic bag off here. So off comes the bag. So this is the pear, by the way. Like I say, it's on a dwarf stock. What I've got to be careful of is I don't cut through any of the roots. Me and knives, guys. Bloody blunt. Actually, I'm going to get a Stanley knife. I've got this sharp knife in the shed. That one there. Waste of time. So here we go. We've got a sharper knife. There you go. Look at that. Went through it like butter. Oh, there's a lot of good growth in here. Little white roots. Just got to try and be careful as best I can. Why do they do that? They wrap the bloody soil and everything. My gloves back on. Mycorrhizal. So that's where this stock has been grafted to the plant, so you don't want to go below that. I'm just sitting this in now, so I don't want it to hamper the tree. Where it is now, it's perfect. That I can put a cable tie around there. Right, now it's just a matter of filling in around the bucket. You know what, I think I've just done the perfect amount. I thought I'd done a little bit too much of this compost. Right, cable tie. We're not putting it tight to the tree. All it's doing is supporting it, and as you can see, we haven't come over the graft. It's plenty of the stock. Just push that down a bit. There's a few weeds there, a few roots there. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to give it a good watering in now. And this conference, that's what it's called, pear conference. We're going to go back in the greenhouse until, well, at least another week and a half, because apparently we've got some really nasty frost on the way. So
quickly going to water this in as well. So there you go, there's the two trees in the 30 litre pots. Like I say, they're not going to get more than 3 metres tall, and like the root stock on them are dwarf root stock. The cherry has already got buds starting on them, and like I say again with the pear, this conference, it's got a few buds on. We're going to put this back in the greenhouse for now. We want to keep them in the greenhouse for another week or two, because I believe it's going to be some really nasty frost, so that's why we're going to put them back in the greenhouse. But other than that, they come straight outside once all that frost has disappeared, because I need to cover these up, really protect these this growth here. It's a bit too early for them, and they've started to grow. It was like that, the buds, but yeah, being in the greenhouse doesn't help, and the buds started to open, so unfortunately, but there's a lot of growth starting. You can see here, this ain't put on tight, got new growth all the way along here, so even if these do die off, we're going to have growth on this tree. So anyway, that's them, both of them done now. I'm quite pleased with them. So I'm just going to shove them in the middle greenhouse. We brought them in the greenhouse for a couple of weeks, because apparently it's got a real nasty frost on its way, and I'd hate to see the tips of the leaves get damaged. I reckon the cherry would do okay outside, but not the pear, so we just brought them in here for the time being. So there you go, they're both now in them pots. They're in the middle greenhouse, as you just saw there, and we'll take them out in about a week or so. The reason why they're in there at the moment is because we've got severe frost warning this week, and the temperature's going to drop like a brick. And obviously, if you leave them trees out there with that one with the leaves on, they're just going to get wiped out. And same with the cherry, the little buds that are forming, they get frostbite as well. Apparently it's going to get down to -7, maybe even 10 degrees. -10, so if it's that cold, they're not going to do well at all. So I thought I'll keep them in the greenhouse for a few days until all that frost and whatever is past, and they should be fine. So there you go, that's what we've been doing yesterday and today. We've got the gooseberry in now, we've got the 2 trees in now. The next video, if it isn't the gooseberries which we've got, it'll be the blueberries, and if it ain't the blueberries we're going to be showing you, it'll be the dahlias. I've got a load of dahlias, so I'm going to show you. I'll be doing a video on my dahlias very soon. Right, that's it folks. I'm being choked to death by someone burning wood or something on the plot next door to me, and the wind's blowing this way, and somehow it's managing to get in me bloody greenhouse. Very strange. I'm going to go and investigate where the smoke's coming from. So I'll see you in a bit folks. Bye for now.